Welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Saint of Bright Doors by Vajra Chandrasekera. The Saint of Bright Doors is a debut fantasy. It's an intimate character study of a young man, Fetter, who's been raised by his mother, Mother of Glory, to assassinate his father, this grand religious figure, the perfect and kind, and his rejection of that destiny. He flees in his sort of late childhood into his teens to the city of Luriat and joins a support group, a therapy support group of almost chosen ones who have either lost the destiny that they've had prophesied for them or have rejected it as he did. And then he finds himself on this journey away from his destiny and toward it, and in connection with himself and beyond himself, his connection with the world, with the city, with his heritage. It's a really remarkable debut, a very powerful debut, dreamlike and surreal. It's almost like it's painted in watercolor. With these moments of stillness and repose as you move through parts of the city and through the surrounding countryside, is really just tremendously lyrical and a beautiful book to read. It was one that I had to read only at night when I had the soft light of a lamp around me to sort of envelop myself in the world of the book. It is a book about living in worlds of encroaching fascism and plagues and ethnic violence and religious trauma and fanaticism and power to be beyond the metal of the earth, to rise above, to be disconnected and still connected. It is really just a truly powerful book, a cerebral book, a thoughtful book, a book that is languid in its pacing and gentle and sharp at the same time, and one that I am so glad that I got to read early and get to talk about on its release day. It's a book that is a standalone, but one that in 5 years I want to revisit and rethink about and reconnect with. It's just a really a remarkable debut, and one that I recommend for the thoughtful and the cerebral fantasy fans out there. It is not necessarily a sharp, action-packed, immediately one event after another plot-driven novel, but it is all the more intimate and all the more powerful for that, and one that stands as one of my top reads of 2023. We're really hitting those sort of back-to-back here in this summer, as we talked about Emma Mieko Candon's The Archive Undying the other week. So just a really remarkable book, and Fetter, as someone who is reluctant to be in the world, but is nonetheless sort of drawn in and can't help but be connected to community. One of the things that he does in the city of Luriat is work as a liaison and as a community support for new immigrants to the city. He can't help but seek connection and bind to the world, even as he's so light in his feet that if he doesn't think about it, he'll rise up into the air. Really intriguing character and a remarkable novel. And so, of course, we had to have a drink inspired by it. Our drink is the Almost Chosen. You're going to see some of the similar ingredients that we've been using a lot this summer, but in a different context, showing the versatility with this sort of greenness, this vegetal quality, and how we can do that in a way that's sort of soft and supple and languid in a way that honors the spirit of the book. So, we're going to get our favorite summer spirit this year, the cachaça, that Brazilian sugarcane rum that's very fresh and grassy, just so refreshing on its own, sort of fruity and vegetal. We're going to get 1.5 ounces of that in our mixing glass. Wonderful. Then our modifiers. As I said, the perfect and kind is a religious leader, and so we're going to get that nice monkish green chartreuse, that herbal, herbaceous sort of liqueur. We're going to get 3/4 of an ounce of that into our almost chosen. Lovely. Then, to bring that complicated, bittersweet brightness, we've got the lime cordial. We'll get 3/4 of an ounce of that. That's syrup that's made with fresh lime juice and sugar and lime peel. I'll have a description of the recipe for that in the description down below. And then finally, we've got some basil-infused simple syrup. Just take your simple syrup and let a good handful of basil soak in it overnight. In the world of the Saint of Bright Doors, basil and basil oil is used as a funeral oil. It is scenting on these funeral pyres, and there are a number of funeral pyres over the course of the novel, including one particularly grand one about halfway through. So it feels especially appropriate to bring that rich, green, herbal quality there. When you're making this, use whatever basil you have on hand, whether it's Thai basil or Italian basil. It's going to change the flavor quality a little bit, but it's still going to be really bright and delicious no matter what. We're going to get that in there. Get our wonderful blend of grassy, vegetal, herbal ingredients. And then we'll get our ice. Lovely. We'll know how to pick up our spoons, and we'll give it a stir. Again, just the texture of the novel. It's like watching watercolor bleed across a page, or those moments of calmness amid meditation in like a Ghibli film. That bit of deep introspection. It's really both utterly familiar and otherworldly, and firmly rooted in a sense of place, in a sense of heritage and tradition, while still being entirely fresh and new. Just the sort of debut that makes you think, what is going to be next? A career that you can't wait to follow, and I'm really excited to follow Chandrasekera's career as he continues to publish. Wonderful. Got that stirred, and we'll strain into our stemmed cocktail glass. Beautiful. And so there you have it. This is an almost chosen, inspired by The Saint of Bright Doors by Vajra Chandrasekera. A huge thank you to the publisher Tor.com for providing me with an early copy of the novel so that I could celebrate it on the release day. The Saint of Bright Doors is out now. You can find it in bookstores. You absolutely must find it in bookstores because it is a book that you don't want to miss. It is a book that I think is going to show up on best of lists for 2023. It's a book that I'm going to be nominating for awards from this year, and one that I highly recommend. We've got a link to snag the book in the description below. Got a link to the Boston Shaker where we get all of our tools and ingredients, things like the jigger, the bar spoon, the glass, all that sort of thing. To various forms of social media, including Twitter and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. We still have our 2 anniversary giveaway going on. I have got that video linked in the description below and in our title cards here, so you can go and enter that for one more week. I look forward to hearing folks' thoughts about the Saint of Bright Doors in the comments down below. Hit that like button, it makes me so happy. Share this video with your friends, it helps us to find new audiences. Try the drink, let me know what you think, and until next time, cheers.